Alright guys, I'm Dan. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Should be the last of the Hot Butcher drop, guys. It's going to be the fourth and final review for a little while. Preserved in 3 dimensions. This is brewed with Sabro and Simcoe hops. This is 7.5% ABV. That's standard Hot Butcher range that we see all too often, but I'm okay with it because these beers are really tasty. I do like a little bit lighter ABV ranges, but you know what? When Hot Butcher drops it, I grab it, I review it for you guys. So, on the back, notes of bright orange pulp, and sweet berry. No canned on date, that's been the typical story from Hot Butcher. Probably no older than a month old. Time of recording, it's February 1st, so if you see this in the future, I already reviewed this for you, and it's probably less than a month old. So, here we go, pop. Yeah, buddy. I think this one's been around for several years, but I haven't seen it. There's a lot of beers that have not made their way into Northern Michigan distribution, but it finally got here. And there's a lot of other offerings from Hot Butcher these days, thanks to dun 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 Jason at M4 and the whole company itself. Thank you guys so much for bringing great beer, craft beer, to the north end of Michigan. It's great. Great. Love what these guys do. So, as I pour this, it looks slightly different. I don't know what it is about it. I think it's just overly carbonated, and there wasn't as much head retention as I typically see in a Hot Butcher beer. Looks a little bit more dirty yellow, a little bit of orange copper, but maybe it's just my angle. I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know. There's just something about it. It looks darker to my eye than it does on camera. It looks a lot lighter to your viewpoint, but that's okay. No head reel retention. No real head retention, though. It's odd. Not typical from Hot Butcher, but again, cool can. Everything's great about it. Sabro hops, I'm going to be honest, not always my favorite. Let's see how it paired with the Simcoe here, guys. Aroma. Wow. Like I've been saying over and over again, Hot Butcher beers are so herbaceous. They're so herbally forward. Like basil, mint. Like this is the epitome of not only mint, but basil dankness and ripeness. Just rich, minty, basil, woodiness. Just sharp notes of passion fruit. Tropical notes, generic. Dude, it smells like a mojito. This thing smells like a mojito, guys. Like it's mint julep. It's all kinds of mint herbaceousness. I don't know what to say. I just get mint in this. That is the most minty beer I've ever smelled off the nose. But I will say, the orange juice, like I feel like there is like this OJ component, a little bit of like citrusy acidity. Wow, it is bizarre what this smells like. It smells like a freaking mojito with orange juice. That's what I'm gonna say, guys. I'm sticking to my guns. Let's see if it's true. Brewed or preserved in 3 dimensions. Cheers. Let's check it out. Boom. There's the Sabro. I like it. I like it a lot better than I thought I would. But the Sabro, that like weird coconutty thing that hits my palate and like intertwines with OJ, it's just weird. And then you got this like herbaceous mint that just jams your palate. It's sharper on the nose than it is on the palate, but it's there, man. It's so well integrated into this beer. You're talking about basil and mint and just herbs. It's freaking this beer, man. It's absurdly minty, and I've said that 100 times now. Orange juice pulp. We can make a case for that. I would say it's like sweet, overripe navel orange. A little bit of like Caracara oranges, if you've ever had them. They're a little bit more souped up, a little bit more delicate, a little bit more tasty in the orange department. Yeah, I'm a produce nerd. Yeah, it's true. So oddly specific, I'm going to say a little bit of orange juice, a little bit of Caracara oranges. And again, coconut is definitely there, and it just plays with that mint. It just integrates itself right into the mint, and this ends up being an herbal, kind of tropical trip, if you will. And it's got just these bright, bubbly notes. It's kind of overcarbonated. It tastes good. It's just, there's a lot on the herbaceous side of this, which happens to be mint and basil and dankness. But sweet berries, I can accept that. Maybe some raspberries in the mix. It tastes pretty good. For Sabro, this is one of the better integrated hops into Simcoe playing with each other. So Sabro and Simcoe, they play well together. It feels like it just feels right, and it feels like, again, an herbally, minty cocktail while still being a New England style IPA. Just a lot going on. Nice little bit of bitterness on the back end, a little bit of floral earth. It is dry on the back end. I get the OJ thing though. Like, there is certainly some aspect of OJ in this. Not just the pulp, but OJ in general. Like simply OJ, it's in there. I like this beer. I know that was a lot. I feel like I was critiquing it a lot. But the more I sip it, like, everything blends together very nicely. And it ends up being just a really well orchestrated beer. Still drinkable too, and that's what I like about it. Maybe not as creamy as some other mouthfeels. Again, no head retention. You saw that as I poured it. Pine, earthy, woody, mint, just really sticking out in my mind. It's a fun beer. I'd want to try this with somebody else. I'd want to sit down and be like, what do you think of this? OJ, passion fruit, mint, woody, earthy, pine cone. Well done, Hop Butcher. It's weird. I'll remember this one though. Like, it's not one I could easily forget because of the minty, basil-y quality it brings to the table. It's good. It's one of my favorite Sabro-hopped IPAs in general. So, where do I sit with this one after all that BSing with you guys? 4.1 out of 5. Again, Sabro, not always my favorite, but it played well with the Simcoe today, and I think there's a lot of good in this beer, and it's a great tasting beer at the end of the day. So that's where I sit. Thanks for being here. I'm Dan. Prost. Yamas. Cheers. Cheers to good cerveza. Over and out.